thank you, Paul. I think that West Dunbartonshire are embracing it, particularly due to one lady's persuasion. When Miss McGowan spoke at the conference we had in the Beardmore, she did say that she hadn't long been in a position as a head teacher, and she had a very persuasive teacher in Miss Farren who came along and got an audience with me to take this project forward. So I'll let you hear her story. Unfortunately, she can't be with us today, but she has sent someone to speak for her. So Anne-Marie and Mike will now take the floor.
Good morning. My name is Anne-Marie Fan, and the first time I met Jill wasn't so much as a teacher, it was just simply as someone who had I'd been out in Tanzania that summer, and I'd had quite a lot of sinus trouble, and I'd felt very uncomfortable at times, quite unwell for something that seemed so small, or like sinuses. I thought, it seemed to make some of my summer quite miserable. And when I came back, I was quite resolved to try and find some way of not just taking antibiotics or not just taking a nasal spray when things had got bad and I'd got a bad infection. I thought, surely there must be some way of just preventing this and maybe having a healthier lifestyle. And so I went into a sort of research mode, and one of the names that came up was a name I couldn't even pronounce, was Buteyko, but I could pronounce Jill McGowan, and I thought, okay, I can phone Jill McGowan and find out about this method. Originally, I was kind of thinking, well, I don't know if this can do everything it promises. And actually what really happened was that it was more than what I thought. It wasn't just going to be a quick fix for my sinusitis. Obviously, I actually revealed in some ways that it was to do with how I breathed, and that in some ways I was breathing wrongly. And it became much more significant than what I had originally thought. And also when I was there at the classes, many of the people were there who suffered from asthma, and that impacted on their health much more seriously than the sinusitis. It was obviously medication they were taking, the health matters they were trying to deal with. They were very serious. And also as well, I'm the health education coordinator in school. And in West Dunbartonshire, we look at health promotion. It's a very important priority in our authority. It made me wonder about the number of young people and pupils in our school who suffer from asthma. The number every year increased. The number of young people, and I'm in the pastoral care area where I work. I'm directly opposite the first aid room, and the number of pupils who would come to use their inhalers increased weekly and daily, and it was very significant. So the health and correct breathing became something that I realised if I was learning about this as an adult, then it was important if in some way we could bring that into the school and pupils could benefit from that. And the strategies that were taught in the class, the simple breathing exercises, worked not just for adults, but also for young people and children who were coming. One was from St Maurice's, there were other children from other schools there at the classes, and it was obvious that their health was improving. And so I felt very much convicted, and also my own health improved, and therefore I was determined there must be some way of bridging the gap between the classes that I went to at night and also schools. And Jill mentioned on one occasion that she was going into St Maurice's, and I thought, okay, maybe there's some way of inviting Jill into St Columba's. And also at the time we were looking at accreditation for being a health promoting school, and I felt quite very honestly up front and thought, okay, we need to look at improving the health of our young people as well as looking for successful accreditation. I want this process to be genuine, and Jill agreed to come into the school, and I'm going to pass over to Michael Rainey, who's a male version of Maureen McGowan today.
When Anne-Marie first came along to see Maureen regarding Buteyko breathing, I have to say that Maureen did talk to me about it. She's talked to me, the SNT, about it, and sceptical might be the wrong word, but a little anxious perhaps would be the word used. We were concerned about the amount of time it might take. We were concerned about perhaps risk to children. Foremost in our minds was the health of the children and the benefits of this practice or not. However, Anne-Marie, being the kind of lady that she is, didn't give up and continually came back to us with more information, supported it with documentation. So eventually we agreed that we would take this forward. We were also given assurance from Jill. Jill agreed that she would contact all our pupils' GPs and ensure that they were being correctly monitored. And that was a big relief to us, because obviously our pupils' health and welfare is of prime concern. But Jill agreed to do that and has done that. And we're very grateful to her for that. So we have got the safeguards in place. We know the amount of time that it was going to take. Initially, the first group, or the first series of sessions were about 10 sessions on the first week, and they lasted quite some time. But being in the school, of course, I do see the classes coming together and the sessions coming together, and I'm well aware of the number of young people in one of our buildings. We've got 2 buildings in our school. In one of the buildings, marching along the corridors with tape over their mouths, timing themselves, how long they can go, etc., etc. Very impressive. I know that some of the young people here are footballers. I've worked with one of the teams that many of them play with, and I know from listening to them and talking to them the benefits that this system's had to their football. So much so I think with a bit of luck we'll win the league this year. So the potential benefits are there for us to see. Feedback from parents as well as pupils has been that yes, inhalers are being used less, and that can only be a benefit to pupils, not just now, but as already been mentioned, later on in their life. The earlier they've developed this technique, the more benefits it will have later in life, and that's very, very important. So we've improved the health of pupils, but not just of pupils. We have also had a number of staff who've taken part in the technique, and they have reported, I've spoken perhaps to them more, and they have reported huge benefits. So that's very, very impressive. We are a health promoting authority, we're a health promoting school, and part of the health accreditation that we have recently gone through with the authority took into account all the work that we have done with Buteyko breathing technique, and Anne-Marie and Jill have worked very, very closely together in presenting to the authority all the work that they've done, all the benefits that's been done, and they've, if you like, have scrutinised what we are telling them that we are doing. It's not enough, I'm afraid, in this day and age for us just to tell anyone what we're doing. We have to prove, we have to give evidence, and we have been able to do that. So I would like to thank Jill and Anne-Marie very, very much for all their efforts on behalf of our children and our staff. I'm going to now pass you back to Anne-Marie, who's going to say a few more words.
As Mike said, when we introduced the sessions to the school, there were 5 sessions lasting about an hour to an hour and a half for the young people, and that meant we identified the pupils who were willing to participate in the Buteyko pilot project at that stage, and later their parents, and everyone was informed and involved, and so were staff as well, because they were aware of the fact that these young people were coming out of classes. In fact, some staff came and recommended pupils at different stages when they realised what the benefits were, and when they realised what some of the illnesses associated with breathing badly. It's a step process, and it was a gradual process where we were all learning, and what we found on a weekly basis, the sessions would reduce. So it was very stepped and very gradual, allowing the young people to become familiar with the exercises themselves, ask questions, what was right, what was wrong, did they understand what they were supposed to be doing. And the maintaining control line there was really a combination of maintaining control of their breathing when they had any difficulty or were struggling with their breathing, and also as well maintaining control of a curriculum in a secondary school that's very busy and very solid, and most people don't like young people coming out their classes. So we did this on a rotational basis to make it work and to try and make it as acceptable and accessible for everyone. Also, staff had the opportunity to come after school And they came, I mean, a number of about 14, 15 staff came every day at the end of the day for an hour and a half at the end of the school day for classes themselves. And that in itself, I think, showed the significance of breathing. Like, okay, we breathe until we die, but if we breathe correctly, how the quality of our life is improved. And everyone was interested in that. And if you go into a staff room, you'll have people who are suffering from headaches or stressed out or tension or tired or whatever. So this all applies to the adults as well as the young people. And as a health promoting school working in our authority, we felt again this was very important to roll that out amongst the adults in the school. And again, understanding theory and the impact in practice, it was like, well, how did this work? Even myself, when I first took this on board and became committed, you know, I did what I was asked, and then I realised it was actually improving my health, and I thought, how does that do that? How can this happen? So it became important to do the research, and that some of this is what will get presented to us this afternoon by the young people in our school. But again, to say thank you to Jill, a pioneer woman in many ways, quite unsung, but quite spectacular in what she has done, I would say, for the health of the young people in our school. And also as well for Angela Sim, who came in with the accreditation team and was immediately willing and very open to listen to what the benefits of this technique was bringing to our school. And also as well, again, right behind, very committed again, and how we could roll this out in the authority and how it would benefit and improve the health of our young people and our staff. Just to say thank you this morning.
Thank you, Anne-Marie and Mick.